Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. The flight back home was interminably long, each minute stretching into an hour, as I anticipated the warmth of a familiar embrace. Landing in the early evening, the sun was a low ember on the horizon, casting long shadows over the concrete as the taxi whisked me towards what I thought would be sanctuary. Upon entering the house, the air felt different, stale, as if the usual vibrancy of our home had taken a leave in my absence. "Anna?" I called out, my voice echoing slightly against the marble floor of the foyer. There was a pause, a moment of silence that seemed to hold its breath. "In here," her voice floated from the living room, a soft note that seemed forced. I dropped my suitcase and made my way towards her. Anna was sitting on the couch, her gaze fixed on some invisible point across the room. She looked up as I approached, her smile quick and fleeting, not reaching her eyes. "You're back early," she remarked, her voice a mixture of surprise and something else I couldn't quite place. "Just got lucky with the connections," I said, leaning down to kiss her. She turned her cheek towards me, and the contact felt like a whisper, not the greeting I had yearned for during the cold nights away. My eyes landed on a beautifully wrapped box on the coffee table, its satin ribbon gleaming under the soft light of the lamp. "What's this?" I asked, curiosity lacing my tone as I picked up the box. "A gift," Anna replied, watching me with a careful neutrality. "From a secret admirer," she added, the corners of her lips twitching into a smile. But it was her eyes, darting away from mine, that told a story her words did not. I undid the ribbon, the silk slipping between my fingers like water, and lifted the lid. Inside, nestled on a bed of velvet, was a bottle of perfume, exquisite, expensive, the very kind I had once pointed out in a shop window, whispering into her ear that one day it would be hers. The card inside was simple, the handwriting unfamiliar. "For my favorite woman," it read. A pang of something sharp twisted inside me, a mix of hurt and anger. "Do you like it?" I asked, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "It's lovely," she answered, her gaze now firmly on the box, as if it held all the answers to the unspoken questions hanging between us. "Who sent it, Anna?" I asked, the question slipping out, heavy with implications. She hesitated, a slight frown creasing her brow as if considering her next words very carefully. "I don't know," she finally said, "it just arrived today." I placed the perfume back in the box, my mind racing. This wasn't just any gift, it was a message, a declaration. Someone knew her, knew us, well enough to understand the significance of such a present. "We need to talk," I said, my voice low, the box of perfume between us now like a small, fragrant barricade. Anna nodded, swallowing hard, her fingers clasped tightly in her lap. "Yes, we do," she agreed, her voice barely a whisper. As I sat beside her, the scent of the perfume lingering in the air, a cold resolve settled over me. The warmth I had longed for was replaced by a chilling draft of betrayal. This was no welcome home, it was the beginning of a reckoning. Whatever lay ahead, I knew one thing for certain, revenge would be mine, and it would be as cold and merciless as the pain clutching at my heart. The night after my return stretched out torturously. Neither Anna nor I could find the solace of sleep. The air between us was charged, thick with the scent of the unanswered, the perfume acting as a silent witness to our growing divide. When dawn finally broke, casting a pale, uninviting light through the windows, I knew what I had to do. I rose early, my resolve hardening with the morning chill. I left Anna still feigning sleep, her back turned to me, the pretense of peace more painful than any confrontation. Slipping out of the house, I headed straight to the only place I thought I might find answers, the boutique that sold the perfume. The boutique was nestled in an upscale part of town, its window display tasteful and inviting. Inside, the air was perfumed with a myriad of scents, each vying for attention. A young woman, immaculately dressed, greeted me with a professional smile. "Good morning, can I help you find something?" she asked, her eyes bright and unaware of the turmoil inside me. I'm interested in one of your products, I began, maintaining a calm exterior. A perfume, actually, which I believe was purchased here recently. Her smile faltered slightly, sensing the seriousness beneath my inquiry. Of course, do you have the name or description? It's this one, I said, showing her a picture of the bottle I had snapped with my phone the previous night. Oh yes, that's one of our exclusives, she replied, her professionalism masking her curiosity. It's quite popular. I need to know who bought it, I said, my tone insistent, yet low enough to keep our conversation private. She hesitated, then her training took over. I'm sorry, sir. I can't disclose customer information. It's store policy. Frustration welled up within me, but I pushed it down, replacing it with calculated charm. Perhaps you could make an exception. It's very important. Her expression softened, the dilemma clear on her face. It was then that a man emerged from the back of the store, older, with an air of authority. Is there a problem here, Emily? Emily looked relieved at his arrival. This gentleman was asking about a purchase, Mr. Dalton. Mr. Dalton assessed me with a sharp gaze. I'm the manager here. Perhaps I can assist further. With no other options, I explained, the perfume was a gift to my wife, and I'm trying to understand who sent it. Understanding flickered in Dalton's eyes, a flicker of recognition. I remember the sale. It was quite specific. A gentleman, well-dressed, said it was a surprise gift. A name, perhaps. I pressed, sensing we were on the verge of something. He paused, then seemed to make a decision. Look, I normally wouldn't do this, but I can tell you he's a regular. Goes by the name of Marcus Trent. That's all I can say. Armed with a name, I left the store, my mind racing. Marcus Trent. The name was familiar, too familiar. As I dialed the number of my oldest friend, James, who had been more entwined in the local business scene, I hoped for further insights. James, it's me, I said as soon as he picked up. I need your help. Do you know a Marcus Trent? James' voice was cautious. Yes, I know him. Real estate mogul, quite influential. Why? What's going on? I took a deep breath, the cold morning suddenly feeling colder. I think he's involved with Anna. There was a sharp intake of breath on the other end. Are you sure? Marcus is known for, let's just say he has a reputation. I clenched my fist, feeling the edge of the phone dig into my palm. I need to meet him, I said, determination lining my voice. Be careful, James warned. He's not the kind to cross lightly. As I ended the call, the pieces began to align, a picture forming, one of deceit, luxury, and betrayal. I wasn't just going to confront Marcus. I was going to expose him, no matter the cost. The scent of the perfume lingered in my mind, a catalyst for what was to come. The game was only just beginning. As I drive toward Marcus Trent's office, the morning traffic mirrors the tumult of my thoughts, slow-moving, congested, each vehicle a bearer of its own silent drama. The office building where Marcus conducts his business looms ahead, its glass facade reflecting the early sunlight, blinding in its brilliance and seemingly impervious. I park my car and head straight for the reception, my heart pounding in my chest. I need to see Mr. Trent, I tell the receptionist, a young woman with a carefully neutral expression. Do you have an appointment? She inquires, her fingers poised over her keyboard. No, but tell him it's urgent, I press, fixing her with a gaze that brooks no delay. She hesitates, then picks up the phone. After a brief exchange, she nods at me. Mr. Trent will see you now. Please take the elevator to the top floor. The elevator ride feels like an ascent into battle. When the doors open, I'm met by a large, opulently decorated office and Marcus Trent himself standing to greet me, a tall figure, impeccably dressed, his smile practiced but not reaching his eyes. Mr. Trent, thank you for seeing me on short notice, I begin, my voice steady despite the anger simmering just below the surface. Of course, I heard it was urgent. How can I assist? He replies smoothly, gesturing for me to sit. I remain standing. It's about a gift you sent my wife, I say directly, cutting through the pleasantries. His smile falters just a fraction, a crack in his polished demeanor. I'm afraid you might be mistaken. I send many gifts, it's part of my business, he replies, trying to maintain his composure. The perfume, Mr. Trent. An exclusive brand, one you bought at the boutique downtown. Ring any bells? I watch closely as his facade slips, revealing a hint of irritation. Mister, he trails off, not knowing my name. Call me John. Now, let's not dance around, Marcus. Why are you sending expensive gifts to my wife? My tone hardens, the room charged with tension. Marcus sighs, then walks over to the window, looking out over the city. John, the world of business is complex. Sometimes we extend courtesies that might seem personal. It's nothing untoward. I laugh, short and without humor. Courtesies? Is that what we're calling it now? He turns to face me, his expression now serious. Look, I don't want any trouble. I suggest you take this up with your wife. I already have. Now I'm taking it up with you, I retort, stepping closer. What's your interest in her? Marcus pauses, then says, if you must know, I admired her. She's a fascinating woman, and yes, I sent the gift. But there's nothing more to it. I stare at him, trying to gauge his honesty. And why should I believe you? Because, Marcus starts, then stops, his eyes narrowing. Because I know people, John. I know when to pursue and when to back off. Your wife made it clear she was not interested. The gift was, a parting gesture. A parting gesture. The words echo in my head, mocking and cruel. And if I find out you're lying? Marcus walks up to me, his presence imposing. Then you'll do what you must. But consider this, how well do you really know your wife? His words sting, a barbed hook meant to unsettle. I take a step back, absorbing the blow. This isn't over, I warn him before turning to leave, his smirk the last thing I see as I exit the room. Back in the elevator, descending from the confrontation, I feel neither triumph nor defeat, only a deep, unsettling confusion. Marcus's parting words gnaw at me, suggesting a depth to Anna's secrecy I hadn't considered. The drive home is automatic, my mind racing faster than the engine, each thought a collision between trust and doubt. What had begun as a quest for revenge is morphing into something far more complicated, a search for truth, however painful it might be. As the front door of our home closes behind me with a definitive click, the sound reverberates like a gavel, marking the start of what I expect to be the final confrontation. The house is quiet, too quiet, and for a moment, I let the silence wrap around me like a cold embrace. Anna is in the kitchen when I find her, her back to me, her posture rigid. The air feels heavy, laden with unspoken words. We need to talk, I say, my voice echoing slightly in the stillness. She turns slowly, her face a mask of composure. I know. I start with the hardest part. I met Marcus Trent today. Her reaction is subtle, just a slight stiffening of her shoulders. I see. He claims he sent the perfume as a parting gift, I continue, watching her closely. That there was nothing between you two. Anna looks away, her hands clenching then unclenching at her sides. John, Did you have an affair with him? I cut in, needing to hear it, dreading the confirmation. No. The force of her denial surprises me. Her eyes meet mine, fierce and clear. No, I never had an affair with Marcus. But I lied about not knowing who the perfume was from. I'm momentarily taken aback by her admission. Why lie about it? Because I knew how it would look, she says, her voice breaking. Marcus has been a client at the firm. He's influential, and yes, he took an interest in me. It was never reciprocated, but he wouldn't take no for an answer. So, the perfume? A goodbye, he said. He promised he'd stop pursuing me after that, she explains, a tear slipping down her cheek. I didn't tell you because I was afraid it would ruin us. I digest her words, the tension slowly draining from my body. Why didn't you just tell me all this? I thought I could handle it. I didn't want you to worry or to look at me differently, Anna says, moving closer. I was wrong, and I'm so sorry. We stand in silence, the distance between us charged with the weight of our secrets and mistakes. Then, in an uncharacteristic move, the front door swings open abruptly, and Marcus Trent strides in, two of his bodyguards flanking him. My heart sinks. This isn't over. Enough hiding and excuses, Anna. Marcus barks, his voice booming in our quiet home. You're coming with me now. What are you doing here, Marcus? I demand, stepping in front of Anna protectively. It's not just about her, Marcus sneers, his gaze piercing. It's about you, John. You think you're so clean, meddling in my affairs, but I know about your little escapades on your business trips. Confusion and shock pass through me. What are you talking about? Marcus laughs, cruel and loud. Oh, the irony. You were playing the faithful husband role while keeping your own secrets. I have proof. Thought you could investigate me without repercussions? The room spins as his words sink in. My travels, the nights out, things that seemed so innocent at the time. Had someone been watching? Misinterpreting? But then, Anna steps forward, her voice steady. It doesn't matter what you think you know, Marcus. We're not your pawns. This ends now. She reaches into the back of a kitchen drawer, pulling out a tape recorder. Everything, every threat, every inappropriate comment you've made, it's all here. Recorded. Marcus stops, the color draining from his face. The bodyguards look to him, uncertain. Anna continues, this goes to the police, Marcus, unless you leave now and never come back. The standoff feels eternal, until Marcus finally signals his men, and they retreat without a word. The door closes behind them, and the threat seems to evaporate like mist. I turn to Anna, realization dawning. You were protecting us. All this time. Anna nods, tears and relief mingling on her face. I just wanted to keep our world intact. As we embrace, the weight of our trials seems to lift, promising a new chapter. One where honesty and trust are no longer casualties but foundations. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together, stronger for the secrets we've shared and discarded.